In just 18 months, we've turned this country completely around. The king of Saudi Arabia said to me a year ago, your country was dead. And now you've got the hottest country anywhere in the world. Today, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. Everybody respects us. And today, you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And it's true. We're the hottest country in the world. The hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest country in the world. Now we have the hottest country in the world. We are the hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest. The hottest country anywhere in the world. We are the hottest country in the world. Our country was laughed at from all over the world. We were the laughing stock all over the world. They're not laughing anymore.
I'm not. But trust me, everybody else is laughing at you, you moron. All-new episode of Trump Trolls Trump. We are taking a look back at week 80, and it has now been 558 interminable days since Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2025. If you thought that opening montage of Donald being completely out of touch was something, take a look at what happened Monday in Michigan. Okay, that's a guy getting in a car. Who cares? Well, that, my friends, is a man of the people shopping for a Cadillac. No, that is a guy proving to us that he is a member of the Epstein class, because his way of test driving a car is to get into the back seat. What does that tell us? That tells us he has no intention of driving that car. He's going to let his chauffeur do it. Donald has been telling us that he turned the entire country around in 18 months. And I think that's true. 18 months ago, the American economy was considered by Fortune magazine, by the way, the quote-unquote envy of the world. Not anymore. Instead of leading the world, we are all in the back seat with this guy. The difference is our chauffeur is driving our vehicle, the United States of America, over a fucking cliff. On July 23rd, Donald visited EPA headquarters in Washington in order to announce an expansion of his ratepayer protection pledge. But because no speech Donald gives can remain on topic for very long, because indeed, who needs a teleprompter or a script or, I don't know, words that make sense? He soon began warning the country about what he's calling communist rhetoric and communist ideology, because once again, he is proving to us that, like a fly in amber, he is stuck in the 80s. I'm not actually sure that Donald knows what communism is. I don't think he knows what socialism is, or Marxism or Leninism or democracy. But there's definitely one word he understands.
We have to stop the threat of the communist rhetoric that you're hearing right now, because these people, they don't act. I'm very happy a poll came out. It said they're highly educated, but doing very poorly. In other words, they're losers.
There he goes, looking in the mirror again. Donald and Republicans keep warning. Sorry. Donald and the Republicans keep warning that the communists are coming. They're coming to take over America. It's one of their favorite scare tactics. If the communists take over, there won't be a country anymore. So on Friday morning, Maria Bartiromo asked White House National Economic Council Director, inappropriately smiley person, Kevin Hassett, a very simple question. What does he see as the biggest threat facing the financial markets? So let's do a little experiment, as we often do here at Trump Trolls Trump. Could he stay on message?
What would be your biggest economic risk if you had to look at one risk for the rest of 2026? Is it inflation? Is it labor shortages? Is it deficits? Is it the Senate not getting the president's agenda across the finish line? What would it be, Kevin, in terms of the biggest risk to continued economic growth from your standpoint?
I think the biggest risk facing the U.S. economy right now is that these socialist/communist Democrats actually have a big victory and can start to have their policies be pursued by local governments and even perhaps the federal government, because they really are looking at kind of a communist takeover of America. And if markets start to think that those people are going to be successful, then there's going to be a lot of pain in markets. And so I think that's the biggest risk right now.
Well, I think this is a great point that you make.
Yeah, that's a great point, inappropriately smiley person Kevin Hassett. By the way, there's no such thing as socialist/communist. These are two distinctly different things. So we're supposed to believe that communism is a greater threat to the American economy than, I don't know, Donald's insane tariff policies, the potential burst of the AI bubble, the ever increasing wealth gap between the richest of the rich and the rest of us. Communism, yes, the greatest threat to the American economy, according to inappropriately smiley person Kevin Hassett, the guy with a long white beard playing chess and eating borscht in the Russian tea room. That makes sense. Speaking of tariffs, we know Donald loves them. We know that he loves applying them recklessly and without any logic whatsoever, because he doesn't actually still understand how they work. In the Oval Office this week, he proved it once again.
I'd like them to add Iran as tariffs, not just as sanctions. I think it's important. That's what Lindsay wanted, because I heard that they have tariffs on Russia, but not on those 5 countries with having to do with Iran. I'd like to see tariffs on Iran.
On what? I mean, does Iran export lots of things to America that we can tariff? Well, you know what? Maybe they'll start exporting all of that nuclear material we haven't yet destroyed. That's a plan. On Friday, Donald held his 13th cabinet meeting of his second term at Camp David. By now, we've all heard the claim that he's lowered prescription drug prices by the arithmetically impossible amounts of 600%, 800%, even 1,500%. I am still waiting for my $1 million refund on my inhaler. But because he is nothing if not inconsistent, the story changed yet again this week. Now he's saying that other countries agreed to raise their drug prices to match ours. Now, just remember, before you watch this next clip, these conversations exist only in his own little mind because they never actually happened.
And the drug companies agreed because they knew the countries wouldn't agree. And when I called Germany, France, when I called the UK, when I called all of these countries, I said, you got to do it. It's unfair. We're paying 10 times more than you're paying for the same drug. You can't do this. And they said, well, we're not going to do that because we're going to have to double our price in order to make you happy. I said, no, maybe you're going to have to triple your price. They said, well, we can't do it. I said, that's all right. You can't do it, then I can't do something also. And I'm going to charge you very substantial tariffs, which are far more than we're talking about. And they all said, we'd love to do it. We'd love to do it. It would be our great honor to do it. So nobody else would do this. This would have never happened.
The intricacy of these delusions is quite fascinating, which is to say terrifying, because that guy, who is completely out of his mind and whose brains continue to melt out of his ears, is president of the United States of America. So yes, countries in Europe said, absolutely, we will impoverish our own people because the American healthcare system is so broken, and Donald Trump only cares about enriching pharmaceutical companies. That tracks. On a lighter note, we try to keep it light here. On Tuesday, a federal judge threw out Kash Patel's $10 million lawsuit against blogger Jim Stewartson. What was this lawsuit about? Well, personally, this is not something I would want to call attention to, but Stewartson called Patel a googly-eyed Kremlin bitch. Patel claims Stewartson had defamed him by calling him a, quote, blatantly incompetent chud, unquote, and a Kremlin asset who plotted to, quote, overthrow the government, unquote, on January 6, 2021. Here's the problem, though, for the aforementioned googly-eyed Kremlin asset and blatantly incompetent chud. It's not defamation if it's true. That's it for us. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Trump Trolls Trump. Remember, mockery is our superpower, and we will be back here every single week to ridicule this completely inept, corrupt, and dangerous regime. So if you've enjoyed the show, please drop us a like and share the video with your friends and your enemies, especially people who can't stand me. And finally, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Until next week.